Alright, here we are on our lush activated indium planet, and today in this video, or maybe a series of videos, I'm not sure yet, we are going to create a mine that is going to make 1 million activated indium every 4 hours. So the first thing I've done here is I spent about 1 million hours finding this planet with activated indium, numerous resources, and it has an S-class activated indium hotspot here, and right over this way it has an S-class power hotspot. So this is going to help us keep our part counts down. Here we are at our S-class activated indium hotspot, and I'm standing exactly on the 100% mark here, you can see. And I just want to go over placing this real quick. You've probably seen Beeble's videos and know about this, but this part is important for this. It is important to use wooden floors for this because they are flat. The alloy floors and the stone floors, once you place your pipe, it'll look straight and it'll be flat for, you know, the first 40 or 50 stories of your indium mine, and you'll stay on the 100% mark. But once you get up higher there, say you get up to your 100th story, you're no longer going to be on that 100% mark because your tower is going to have a slight tilt. So you need to use the wooden floor to do this part. So I place it here, boom, leave free build, come like this, boom. And now that is going to be perfectly flat, where if I used a stone floor or an alloy floor, it would not be flat. So the next part I do is I snap a light floor on that, like so. And now I can get rid of this stuff. Now what I do is I want this to face a specific direction. In this case, I want it to face off towards my power hotspot. So there it is. So that means I'm going to want this to face like this, with that fat line off to the left. So it's going to point that way. So I can drop that there. And we can delete this guy and this guy. Let's just test to make sure we're at 100%. And here we can see 100%. So as we go straight vertically up, everything that we attach to this point will be 100%. Alright. So we don't need that. What we need, what we're going to do is grab one of these walls like this. And we're going to reverse glitch there, or adjacency glitch there. So we get this. And then the wall that I like to use for my stacks is going to be this guy. I like to face it back like that. Before I get too far ahead of myself, I just want to do a quick insert here and say why I've lined things up like this. So basically I have it so that this wire connector here is facing this specific direction like this, and that it is directly lined up with the center of the edge of this wall. And what we can do with that is we can grab this little short wall here, and you can pick where you want to snap it vertically. I like to snap them right here, one up from the bottom, boom, like that, and then I just go right next to it, one up from the bottom, and I snap it over like this. And then what that gives us very quickly and easily is a sideways extractor, both sideways you know, horizontally and vertically. So this way we can run pipes to it and it won't interfere with an extractor that's directly above it, just one story up. And it's very quick to glitch in those different snap points because you can just grab the wall, snap down, and then snap over. And it's just two glitches for each extraction point. And then I do like to just go ahead and remove that one. Keep the park out down, make sure you have the correct snap points no matter what. And yeah, that's why it's lined up the way it is. So this is the basic setup here that we're just going to stack upon. We're going to be doing 100 stories up, and each story is going to be, you know, have a set of extractors and depots on it. And we do 10 because we're going to do we do 100 because we're going to do 10k in each, and that will get us to 1 million activated indium if we do 10k on each story and we have 100 stories. As you're building up, a couple things will happen. You're likely to lose count, so what I like to do is every 10 stories I drop a floor so that I can easily get my count back. And the other thing that's going to happen is you're going to run into this build barrier. What you can do to escape this is just double click the enter build camera toggle. So I double click it, boom, I get a whole new distance of build camera to work with. So now we're going to fly up to the top. I've gone ahead and built 100 stories with a platform every 10 stories all the way up to the top. Here we go, we're going to fly up to the top and we're going to test the level to make sure that we get 100% up here at the top, just like we do down at the bottom. So for the test, we're going to adjacency like this. Boom. Boom. And we'll just drop a guy right on that snap point here. And let's go ahead and check, fingers crossed. Here we are, 100 stories up, and we still have 100% density. At this stage, we are going to now be able to just build all our snap points for all our extractors. So, I'm just going to go up like this, building a snap point at each spot. And once I get up to 100, then I'll come back down, and then on my way down, I'll be connecting these like this to get our sideways action. So I'll see you in 100 stories. Now I'm just finishing up the snap points here, just deleting what's in between, the wire between the two. There, like that, so that only the angle that I want is left, so that snapping will be that much easier. Here's the top. So all those snap points are done for 100 different locations. Now we're going to move on to a little bit of the layout and how we're actually going to organize the depots to pick up the extractors. They're to pick up what the extractors are putting out. This is the 50th floor here, right in the center of this whole tower here. And this is the floor where we're going to put our extraction point. What I do is I move it off here 10 pieces, just so that when you come to harvest you don't have to hear all the extractors and stuff banging around, and you can get some peace and quiet while you harvest your material. So I go over 10 units, so now we're 10 floors, so we're nice and quiet back here. And then what I'm going to do let's make just a little room here. And this point right here is going to be where we extract everything. So it'll be one extraction point for all million, but we will not have any diminishing returns. So I'll show you how that will work once we get there. How I'm going to do this is I'm going to have every 2 stories, I'll have 10 different depot locations. And we'll have, 10 stories of 10 depot locations to give us our 1 million count. And this landing area here, our main extraction point, is going to be between 2 of those stories. So I'm going to go like this, and this represents the 2 stories, 1, 2, and then this is the middle story here, the extraction. So there's room for 10. I'm going to do 1 on each floor panel, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And this will be our 6th floor right here, 6th floor of depots. And this one right down here, this will be our 5th floor of depots. And there are our locations for the 10 depots. There'll be 1 at each of these floor panels once we get those in there. Now I'm going to build the rest of the depot stories here. So 2 down, and then this will be the 4th, and then 2 down, third, and we'll go all the way down to the 1st, so that then we know where we start, and we'll go up to the 10th, so we know where we end, and we'll have all of our depot floors in place. One thing to note about placing these floors in for your depot locations is that they should be oriented like this, with the tiles going long ways in the direction of the line. So like that versus like that. You don't want that. You're going to want that. This way, when we put in the pipes later, you'll have points where you can place the pipes consistently and accurately, so that they're all the same and you don't run into any confusing wiring issues. At this point, most of our basic layout and framework here is complete. I'll just go over a tour here real quick. So here's the tower. All the extractors will get snapped here to this outside of this tower, all the way down. Then over here, this will be our final extraction point right here at this point. And then each one of these floors here will have 10 depots each. And then right here in this middle floor off the landing area, or off the collection point, we'll have some landing pads for visitors. And right here, I'm going to go ahead and put a teleporter right here, so you teleport in, and boom, you're right at your extraction point, ready to go. For the depot snap points, what I like to do is kind of hang them off the edge so you have the full square to walk across, and then you can grab them as you walk by, if you're just grabbing one at a time. So for this, I like to do a light floor right here like this, boink, with the fat line there against the floor. And then I like to go ahead and grab some short floors and just put them in like this, one on each floor. There's 10 there. And then I like to do this short wall, and I just glitch here, boom, and then like that, and I just go all the way across. Once I get all the way across, I just go back and delete all these, and then we have our 10 snap points for our depots. Okay, I now have 100 snap points for my 100 depot locations all set up for all 10 floors here. And it's looking pretty good. So let's set up the power, and then we'll do a little test to see how things lay out here. My power is pretty far away, so I'm going to have to extend my base range. Here I am, I'm just standing at the edge of my range here. You can see it going out of range as I step forward. One way, you can just build walls and run out there towards the power. But what I'm going to do is enter the build camera and just fly myself. I can just fly out here. Since I'm standing inside the buildable area, I can just fly out here, and every time I hit the edge of my build camera, I just double tap, and I'm given another length to travel. One thing to be careful about with this is, well, just like that, if you get hit by something, you will lose your camera, but also if you go too far, the ground will become no longer a physics object, and you'll fall through. So you can go about 600 or 700 units, depending on your system, place a wall, and then go to that point, and from there you can build further again. Here I am at the power hotspot. 100% is a little bit harder to find on this hotspot for whatever reason. You can see I'm kind of flashing between 99 and 100, but we'll say that's good enough. And same deal, I got some wood floors, and I'm just going to mark it and then drop a light floor on it. Quit shuffling, buddy. Alright. And we are going to go ahead and put a light floor on that. Just like that. And that is actually even the orientation we want, I think. For this, I'm not going to worry about placement, because the only thing here is just going to be the power. So, grab this guy. Whoops. And we'll wire glitch him in right there. Boom, just like that. And then all I'm going to do is just go straight up. Just wire glitching to the next tallest wire location. And this will just go straight on up. It won't give us 100% efficiency, but we can just drop one extra and that'll make up for it, since I believe we will be at 99%. Let's take a look. 99. And 99. Looking good. I am placing my 35th power creator or whatever here now. I think that should be enough to get us to 500k. So 50 extraction points. We'll start with that and we'll come back and finish up later. So we just wire these all together here. Like this, and then we will run a cable from here all the way back to our base. As I'm wiring this up, I just wanted to go over some tips for wiring long distances that I like to use. Here we're coming from our power station here. I'm just in the build camera. I'll grab the point, and again I'm just using that flying trick. I'll just fly out here back towards my base. Each time I hit the edge, just double tapping to give me more flight time, and then eventually I'll get out to a point where it says my connection is too long. Connection too long. Here we are. I'm always aiming it up at my base so I keep my line straight. Here we go. Straight line there back to my base. And we know connection too long there. I'm going to pull it back a ways from that, just so we're not right at the very limit. And then what I'm going to do is back out, grab a cuboid room, drop it down right there, Oh, looks like I got a little crooked. Let's aim that a little better. I think that looks a little more lined up. And then when I exit the build camera, I'm already back here. And I can grab my previous wire if it renders in. And just go ahead and run it to my next point. This way you can avoid some running back and forth, and you can get those long distances wired up a little more quickly now that you can no longer do the infinite length wire glitch since Frontiers. But if anyone figures that out, please post a comment, because boy, doing 1000U wires was sure a nice thing to be able to do that we no longer can. Now we've wired power all the way back to the extractors, and we can toggle them on, or we can toggle them off if we just start working and we want a little piece while we work, so that's nice. Let's hook up a depot. So the depots, we're up here at the top where the first depot goes. We're going to place 9 depots here in this location. And then we're going to wire that up to the extractor down here. And that should give us, since we have 4 extractors, that'll give us 1,000 storage, and then we'll have 9 depots, and that'll give us a total of 10,000. And that is basically one line of this mine. And we're going to do 100 lines like that. So we come back up, let's see if we counted right. I might have messed that up. Nope, here we are, 10,000. Good to go. So let's do that 100 times. Okay, let's go. Here we are, 100 times later, or 99 times later. We see all our pipelines hooked up here to all of our extractors. So that's 400 extractors, 900 depots, giving us 1,000,000 total storage, giving us 100 total collection or depot points here. You can see they all have 10K storage, and they fill up in 4 hours. But again, we have 100 different collection points, so that is pretty annoying. So let's see if we can't do something about that. Make it so we can collect all this in just one single go. To harvest all these depots in one go rather than having to visit them all, we're going to take advantage of how supply pipes work when they're connected to a depot versus how they work when they're not connected to a depot. So first I'm going to extend this out by 1 more floor here beyond the end of our depot, and make sure the lines here are lined up long ways so that we're always placing things in the same points. And then I'm going to grab a supply pipe, and here's the first one here. So we're just going to go to the first little point here. This is the first line, the first point. We'll drop it there. And then we're going to drag it over to the first point here. And we'll do the same thing on the second one here. On the second point, then we run it back here, and we'll put that right here on the second point. Right there. Now, what you should notice here is that although those two pipes are right next to each other, about as close as you can get them without them interfering, they do not interfere with each other. So this is still 10,000, and this is still 10,000. So both these depots are still independent, but we have these cable ends right here which are very close together. Let's take a look and see what happens if we put a depot right in the middle of this floor here. Drop that right in the middle of the floor. Now let's go take a look in this depot right here. Whoa! Look at that, 20,000 now instead of 10, 21,000, because we have 10K here, 10K here, and 1,000 here. So all these pipes just got connected just by dropping that there, and we can unconnect them just by deleting that. And now they're all independent. So they now have no diminishing returns. They'll fill up in 4 hours. But if we put the supply pipe, or put the depot down, now we can see they will not fill up in 4 hours. But we can collect all of our material from one depot. Now the disadvantages here are obvious. You know, someone visiting your mine is going to have to visit each point individually. But you yourself, when you collect your mine, you can just put a depot down and collect it all at once. And what I do is I just take these ends and I run them up to my collection point. That's just one story up here. So I'll run them all to here. And then that will be my final collection point. And it works out nicely because on these floor tiles, if you look, you can see there are basically 10 little points like this going each direction. So you can get things nice and lined up and keep your cable management as clean as possible. So yeah, you can see here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then there's 5 more on this side. And then if you go the other way, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 5 more that way. And that gives you a 10 by 10 square, so you can fit 100 connection points on this single tile and collect them all at once. And that's why we're doing 1 million, because they will fit exactly in this one tile. I have now run all 100 depots to this single floor tile. And so if we now drop a depot right here, you should see 1,001,000 capacity, and there it is. 1,001,000 capacity, and that 1,000 is just from this one that I just dropped, just so I could pick up the material. So then you could go ahead and harvest everything all at once. And without the depot there, we can see that every single one is 10,000 activated indium, with 2,500 extraction rate. So this is pretty much the mine now. At this point, I'm just gonna kind of pretty up a little bit. There's not a million bajillion parts because of the efficiencies that we used, and so there's definitely some room to make it look kind of nice. So now I'm going to go ahead and do that. And here we are. All I've done is just gone ahead and clad things up in some glass and made some little inside room for us. So when we come to harvest, it's all nice for us. And anyone visiting can, of course, collect these one at a time and get 10,000 from each. And that's pretty much it. So thanks for watching, and hopefully you got a couple tips or saw something interesting.